Hey Moxies, welcome back. In this episode, we will talk about the 4-letter words that quietly disempower us. These sneaky words keep us stuck and small. It's time to reclaim our power. Let's go.
Be mindful of yourself, be mindful of your wealth, be mindful of your health. You need it, just take a breath, it's your life. Live it, be your best, stay box free with your Mindful Moxies.
We are your Moxies, guiding you through the messy, real, and empowering journey of personal growth. People are going to think that we're crazy.
We are crazy.
If you have never watched our videos and you're just listening, what we do at the beginning is that we always dance.
We always dance.
Dance and dance, mindful Moxies.
Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Doom, doo, doo, doom.
I can't touch this. But welcome back, our Mindful Moxies. My name is Adrianna Foster.
And I'm Luly Carreras.
And we are your Mindful Moxies, and we are happy to hype you up, to help you, to encourage you, to keep you accountable, and to celebrate you. This is what we're here to do.
Yes.
So exciting.
Yeah, because today we're talking about 4-letter words that do not belong in our vocabulary.
That can screw you over.
Screw you over.
Screw those words.
Bad 4-letter words.
Bad words.
Bad words.
And
All right.
It's not the bad words that you think.
That's right.
It's worse than the
It's
F
worse.
word.
It's worse than the F word, which we drop here every once in a while. All right. So I'd like to start by sharing a really impactful story. This is probably, we're going back to maybe 2016, 15 maybe. I was at a national conference. I was speaking at this conference and doing what I do best, which is it was a women's conference. It was a lot of local women-owned businesses or international or national women-owned business. And when I hear that, I take out my credit card and I literally throw my credit card at all the women and find ways to support them because I just do. And so I go, and I love jewelry, so I go to this beautiful jewelry booth and I ask the woman, so tell me a little bit about this. And she says, well, we're just in 4 countries and we help the women in these countries make jewelry from the gems and stones that are native to their country. And then we kind of do like a co-op where, you know, we teach them how to make the jewelry and then we give them a percentage. Like we go and we sell the jewelry and then we give them a high percentage. And what ends up happening is these women are breaking the cycle of poverty, of abuse. They're able to, you know, they're able to, and then I just stopped and I was like, I just went into full-blown coaching mode.
Wow.
I just could not help myself. I'm like, whoa. Did you just say just 4 countries? Because I'm in 1 country and I think I'm amazing. You're international and you're just. So that's the first 4-letter word.
Wow. I would have been like, lady, I am in 1 county and
I'm a big deal.
and I celebrate myself. I'm in 2 now because I moved to Broward.
And so what ended up happening was this beautiful conversation of this beautiful human being where I literally took her and said, you know, do you have a minute? Can we chat? And, you know, I took her aside and we had a conversation and I said, you know, you just shared with me, like, are you seeing how many women, like you just shared this with me, women are breaking the cycle of poverty because of you.
Wow.
Women are leaving abusive relationships and abusive environments. Women are educating their children all because of the work that you are doing.
Wow.
And she started sobbing and it was, you know, and I hugged her and it was just such a beautiful moment that I remember I came back and I blogged about it of the 4-letter word that could tear you apart, right? And it's the word just.
Yes.
It's the word just.
This reminds me of our episode around small wins, not celebrating the small wins. This is what happens when we have pain that we haven't healed, and this pain is creating a story of not good enough, no matter what you do, it will not be good enough. You will still feel this woman was carrying this pain. She's literally changing the world.
She's changing the world.
She is empowering these women from all of these countries to not only break the cycle of poverty, but share their gifts through their talents.
Yes.
And still, it's not good enough. So that is self-sabotage.
Yes. And I think at times we can be tired, right? I could tell that there was exhaustion, there's overwhelm. It's a big responsibility, right? I shared that with you also as we were prepping for this episode and months after Spark, and just sharing, my big women's empowerment event. Like it is a big responsibility when you have 300 women before you, counting on you to be inspired or to be equipped. It is a huge responsibility. And I have no doubt, and her name is Wendy, by the way, that Wendy continues to feel and felt this sense of responsibility.
It can be overwhelming.
But to your point also, Adrianna, is like, how can we shift the conversation and shift the language? And what was so beautiful was within that same day, and so again, having the conversation of the modesty, but how am I modest, and how can I see that 4 countries is a big deal, and that I'm changing these. And I said, you can impact more by sharing with gratitude and enthusiasm.
Yes.
This isn't about you being superior or about you being anything like what you might be perceiving or the story that you're telling yourself, which is another episode we did, right?
That's right.
But really, how can I get you excited to join me on this ship of impact, right?
You said it, excitement. If you do not know how to shift your share so you don't feel like you're bragging or you don't want to offend others, which that's a whole nother story, but fine. If you feel that way, how you can make that shift is be excited.
Yes.
Be excited, kind of like a child is sharing with you the new toy that they got.
Yes.
They're not bragging. They're just so excited and they want to play with you. That is how you can share. That is exactly how you can be like, yay. And when you hear yourself say the word, well, it's just, which I do that a lot, by the way. Now that you're saying it, I'm doing like a self-inventory. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm going to hit you so hard.
I do that a lot, Luly. A lot.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Because, within that day, that happened in the morning at around probably like 10 or 11 a.m. And I snuck by her booth a couple hours later, being the obnoxious, annoying coach I am, right? That's going to hold you severely accountable. Being a pituita, which is somebody who is relentless.
Yes.
And just kind of sneaking by her booth and hearing how she shifted the conversation and how she started to share with gratitude and enthusiasm. She started to share with excitement. She started to share if she was a child with a new toy. And so the women would approach the booth. And what do you think happened? More sales happened.
Of course.
More impact happened. More women got to receive not only a beautiful necklace or a beautiful bracelet, but the women back in these just 4 countries. So she just started to shift the conversation. And what it looked like was, well, the work that we do is so beautiful. We're already in 4 countries and we're looking to expand into other countries. But we take gems and stones that are native to these countries and we help women break the cycle of poverty, of abuse. We give them the opportunities to educate their children and to really become the leaders of their communities by creating beautiful jewelry from these gems and stones. And so we teach them how to make this jewelry. And then here we are. This is all jewelry that was made by the women in these 4 countries. Which one is your favorite?
Absolutely. And then what probably happened is that women like you and me are like, oh my God, how can I I want to be part of this.
Right.
The jewelry's amazing, but the impact of it's even better. And it becomes a beautiful chain, kind of like what you were saying in the other episode, a collective chain of celebration, excitement, and support.
Yes.
And that's what happens when you unjust yourself.
That's right.
When you take the just out of the equation of what you're speaking. So if you find yourself sharing something or talking about yourself and saying just, I want you to take a pause and remember your mindful moxies that are telling you right now, stop it. Take a look at what's making you feel this way. Take a look at what's making you feel like what you're doing is not good enough. Take a look at your pain. Connect with your little girl. Ask her, when was she told that what she was or what she did was never enough? When was the first time that you felt that your efforts, your authentic self, your genuine being was not good enough, and that you had to work hard for love, that you had to work hard for connection? Because that's where you're going to find the answer of when did the just appeared. So you can protect yourself from rejection, so you can protect yourself from not being loved or accepted, and you can remind yourself as a protection mechanism to work hard and harder and harder. But unfortunately, it's never going to be good enough, because that's what keeps you in that cycle, of
right.
I have to be better.
Right. So we have the word just. That's the first 4-letter word.
Yes.
Right. And then we have the next one, which is can't.
Yes. Can't. Can't is something that it's so embedded in ourselves that we don't even realize that we're saying it.
I can't be a hypnotherapist. There's 3,000 other hypnotherapists in the world.
I can't be a hypnotherapist, singer, and astrologer at the same time.
Right.
Without realizing that I already am.
You already
this
am.
Is who you are. You can't change yourself.
Yeah.
But it is really incredible how many times I hear women, especially in my programs in Loud Women Nation, or with my one-on-one clients, or even in foster hypnosis, my group practice, my therapists, the hypnotherapists, the practitioners that work with me, they constantly say that word. And I'm like, do you even realize that before you even tried it, you are taking away the opportunity for something to exist?
Yes. And this happens a lot with sales. So what happens? I can't sell. I can't sell. Well, in an upcoming episode, we're going to talk about how selling is serving and how it's an invitation and how you have an opportunity to enroll people.
Yes.
But you can't get there if you're using the word can't.
This is the key. When you find yourself saying the word can't, I want you to remember your Mindful Moxies, and I want you to stop it, and ask yourself, what do I really need? What does this really mean? The fact that you feel like you can't is because deep down inside you feel like you don't have permission, like you're going to die. It's a trauma response, whatever that is. So ask yourself, what do I need? Do I need support? Do I need to learn how to do this? Do I need to forgive myself? Do I need to give myself permission? Is what I tell my practitioners when we do the trainings in foster hypnosis to better serve clients. We have to train in ourselves. We have to do our shadow work. So we all have a monthly retreat in which they do hypnotherapy. They share with each other. They exchange services so we can be better. And I tell them all the time, what do you need? What is it that you need? And the way that we know what you need is by paying attention to what you think you can't do. I can't set this boundary. I can't bring my prices up. I can't tell my client this. I can't tell this to my mother. Okay, what this really means is that I need to believe in myself a little bit more.
I get to,
yes. I get to believe in myself.
That's right.
I need to learn, or I am seeking to learn these tools. I get to heal my inner child. Whatever that is.
Right.
It's a need that has not been met.
Yes. And then what's the third word that we have? Because I think we had 3, right?
Can't,
it was can't,
just, must.
Oh God, how did we forget that one? How did we forget?
I have my little cheating computer here.
Because that's what we do. We look at the computer and we're like, well, what did we say we were going to talk about?
Must.
I
must do this.
And what I feel when I hear that word is almost like a banging, like 2 closed fists banging on the table.
Yes.
Like very toxic, very masculine. Not that masculine is a bad thing.
It's toxic masculinity.
It's toxic masculinity. Thank you, Adrianna. Is like this, like
we should do an episode about feminine and masculine.
We should. We put that in the notes.
Because let me
that
tell
we're
you,
not going to follow.
let me tell you, I don't know what episode was that I spoke about feminine and masculine, and that was.
We need like a guide of all the episodes we've done so we can refer properly to the episodes.
I will make that happen. But somebody gave me the feedback, which if you have this question too, please let us know. They were like, why were you talking about feminine and masculine in that way? Like, are you talking about men and women?
Oh,
and I realized that even though, a lot of people might think that feminine and masculine is about men and women and roles, it's not. So what you're referring to is the masculine domain, which is a very structured, very mental mind strategy, very specific, detailed energy that makes us make money, negotiate, thought, but also makes us control. So that energy in the toxic way becomes, or in the not toxic, in the extreme way might become toxic, which is must. Must is like, I'm going to force a situation.
Force, that's the word.
Is the opposite of flow. Is the opposite of acceptance. Remember I was telling you guys in the other episode, like, I want you to give up. I want you to relax, right? And receive. And then when you rest, try again. That's flow. Must is, I will never give up. And sometimes you're going to bleed. If you don't give up, you're gonna die if you don't give up. I
think it was important to discern, right? That because I found myself going, oh gosh, so many people are gonna misunderstand that. So I'm happy that we did a little footnote on that.
Yes.
And so that must, that feels just so icky, so many of you have given us the feedback that you are enjoying this podcast, and we have, we've had some pretty heavy episodes,
heavy conversations.
We talk about the shadow, we talk about trauma, we talk about our triggers, and we've been getting a lot of really great feedback from everybody. And in preparation specifically for this episode, one of the things that I told Adrianna is like, this has been so easy. And I used the word flowy. And I don't know that it's a word, but I made it up.
It is. It is in the Mindful Moxies dictionary.
Mindful Moxies dictionary. And flowy is, we each have strengths and gifts, right? And you're probably going to get tired, and sorry, not sorry, that you're going to get tired of me saying this, right? And it is our duty and our responsibility to share our gifts with the world.
That's it.
And you and I complement each other so nicely, even in the way that we're talking. We, case in point, Adrianna had to look at her notes to remember the third freaking word because we're like, what's the episode? Okay, let's go.
And what happened is that I forgot my stand.
So it's on the floor because we don't have a checklist yet, but we're gonna get there. And again,
this is what happens when you share your gifts, even if you're not ready, even if it's not perfect, you just go and do it.
But this is what I think makes us so relatable, is like, we are not ashamed of the fact that she had to hunch over. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you saw her hunch over to her laptop that is on the floor. And we're not going to edit that.
No, we're not.
You're going to see Adrianna Foster hunching over to her computer because neither one of us could remember the word must.
And I should have put the font bigger
so that you wouldn't have to hunch over. Here's the point, right?
Right.
Here's the point, is how beautiful that we get to just... We just get to be like, that is flow.
That is flow.
And chances are this moment is going to resonate with you because you're going to go, damn, they're human.
Yeah.
They're human. They're air quote normal. Of course we're normal.
Yes. In one of our episodes.
Say that again. Yes.
Yes. No, the other day somebody asked me something and I was like, yes. And she's like, oh my God, even when you talk, you sing. And I'm like, yes. No, let me tell you something. In one of our episodes, which I don't remember in which one, which
we will get better at that.
Better, and we'll make a checklist. We said something about being normal and being human, right? And I said something that I forgot what I was going to say. I totally lost my train of thought.
Well, it's through our authenticity. It's through our authenticity.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Dory. You're welcome.
Yes, I'm Dory.
Dory.
Yes, so I was telling you, this is awesome.
So when you record an album, when an artist records an album, I don't know if you guys know this, but usually when you're putting the voice, so the voice is the last thing that you record, right? You first record the instruments, and then you do like a rough mix so the artist can hear the environment and the instrument, and then you do the vocals. I promise you, usually the first take.
That's right.
Is the best take.
Yes.
And then we artists will be like, oh no, we're going to do it again because blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, most of the times we end up changing it. Or one thing that I don't like about, some artists, including myself, is that we will record like little pieces of the first verse, the second verse. Why? Because we want to make it perfect. And even though it might sound perfect, the first take is always the best. You know why? Because you were not in your head.
Yes.
Because it's authentic. Because usually when you're singing it the first time, you have 10 more takes. So you're not so concerned about making it perfect, but you're singing from the heart.
Yes.
And what I started practicing even till today is that I don't do more than 3 takes. And I know that I have 3 takes to get it there.
Yep.
So I either connect with my heart and synchronize it with my head and do whatever the hell I have to do to make it real. Otherwise, it loses the flowy.
Yes.
Right? So instead of being, it must be perfect, a lot of people connect with the energy of the flowy moments, the authentic moments that happen organically.
Yeah. Yeah, I share the story of the first Spark ever back in 2017.
Yes.
Right? I'm at Spark and I dance. I take like 3-4 minutes where I'm dancing with the hundreds of women in the audience. I get on stage. Everybody quiets down and I look around and I go, shit, I'm not mic'd. And I run down to AV. And I remember at the time I had a dear friend of mine who was standing by the AV table, sticks his super cold hands down my bra, clicks the microphone to my bra strap, hands me the lapel. I put it over my ear. I hop up back on stage and I look around and I go, have you ever been so excited you forget to put on a microphone?
A microphone, yeah.
Everybody starts roaring, laughing. And then I moved on.
Absolutely.
That moment of authenticity of my humanity.
Yes.
Right? I didn't get caught up in the just, the can't, or the must, which by the way is very, very easy to do. It's very easy to get tempted and say, can you believe that you have hundreds of women staring at you and you did not know or you forgot to put on your freaking microphone, and that just and that can't and that must can easily creep in. And I find that when I can make that joke, or it's going to be a great story, which you've often heard me say, is like, this is going to be a great story. Like, I just got to share with you an awesome story, right? I didn't allow those words to creep inside of me. And I think more importantly, I got to express my humanity.
Yes.
I got to just get everybody to level set through this, what could have been a very embarrassing moment.
1,000%. And I love that you said, I got to express my humanity.
Yes.
It makes me very emotional, and it gives me goosebumps, because this humanity is what we are robbed from in a society that expects a must, a just, a can't. A society that lives up these expectations of perfection. A society where girls, 13, 14-year-old girls, are using filters and tons of makeup and creating these videos of get ready with me in the morning and portray this life that is absolutely perfect, that it's a lie. A society where women will hide who they are, will wear all of these clothes and makeup and things, not because they want to, but because they feel they need to. They will say, I'm okay, when you're not. They will celebrate hustle and doing it all by yourselves because you feel like if you don't, you're weak. This is what is robbed from us, humanity. And this comes from collective trauma, from collective fear, because we have been taught that being a human is weak. We have been taught that making mistakes, learning, it's not a process that should be celebrated. It's a process that should be humiliated and that we should be ashamed of. And this is what happens when you experience trauma and you have parents or an environment that does not teach you how to be a human. And I really, if you're listening or if you're watching, I really, really, really ask you to connect with your heart. Just listen to your heartbeats and remember that you are not a robot. You are a human being. And if you believe in God, remember that God gave us the ability to choose for ourselves and to make mistakes. We are not perfect. Only God is perfect. Only the universe, whatever you believe in, that's the perfection of divinity. But we as humans, we have the right to be humans. Like Maya, my daughter, says, if you don't make mistakes, then I should be worried because maybe you're an alien. That means that you're not a human.
Oh, that is like a mic drop right there. Maybe I need to worry that you are the next robot that's being created, right? The C3POs.
Maya says that all the time. Maya is like, Mommy, because I have always... One of the things that was robbed from me in my childhood was the ability to be a human. My father, God bless him, but he created an environment where I was not allowed to be sick, to make a mistake, and I was ashamed of my humanity. And on top of that, I have ADHD, so my neurodivergence makes me a very messy human. And I was ashamed of that for many, many years. And when I had Maya, my daughter, I wanted to teach her so badly that it's okay to not have everything, all together all the time. And I would tell her, well, if you didn't make a mistake, I would be worried that you're not my daughter, that you're an alien. So up until today, she says that, Mommy, I'm not an alien. I make tons of mistakes today.
That's so beautiful.
Right? So that I just wanted to share that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is why I do what I do, Luly. This is why I help people, because I tried to commit suicide when I was 18 years old because I didn't know that being a human was allowed. And I tried so hard to be perfect, and I couldn't. And that got me to feel like I didn't belong to this world. So my mission in this world is to teach others and to inspire them to celebrate their humanity, their humanness, their ability to show up that way.
And imagine if you didn't do all the work to get to where you are today in the 20 years since that, to be able to get to where you are on the other side, supporting people and encouraging them. You did not allow the just and the can't and the must to stop you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's our invitation today is, where are those words stopping you? And where are they stopping you? Because they can stop you to inspire you, to get you to reflect, to take action. It could be a motivation. But if it turns into something that becomes toxic and paralyzing, that's where the real danger lies. So my invitation, our invitation is, where are these words stopping you? Take some inventory of your thoughts, of the story that you're telling yourself.
Take responsibility of your
thoughts.
Take
responsibility. And where is just, can't, and must crushing your dreams?
Yes, that's our invitation.
That's our invitation.
Thank you, Luly. This was an awesome episode.
Thank you, Adrianna.
Yes, we'll see you next week. My name is Adrianna Foster.
And I'm Luly B. Carreras.
And we are your Mindful Moxies, and we'll see you next Thursday.
See you next week.
We're dancing. If you're not watching,
we're dancing.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and visit mindfulmoxies.com to connect with us. See you next week.
Be mindful of your wealth, be mindful of your health. You need it, just take a breath, it's your life. Live it, be your best, stay box free with your mindful